So welcome to the Housing Advocate, the podcast of the Southern Utah Home Builders Association. I'm Stacey Young, your host, and I'm really excited today to be joined by Ashlee Preston. Ashlee is the president and owner of Sunterra Construction. Yes. Did I get that right? Mm-hmm. And you'll be the president of SUHBA this upcoming year, 2026. So yes. Really exciting. Thing to be happening, and we're talking the day after you were installed as 2026 president. So really exciting day, and we were just talking before we started recording about how you thought you'd kind of settled down from the nerves after that, and realized you were still a little nervous, and realized it was probably the podcast. Is that right?
It is.
Yeah, and I always feel the same every time we record these. So we're both kind of introverted, and that's okay. We'll get through it together. Yeah. Which is good. So all good. So really excited to talk to you. Because I've now been on the board with you for a few years now, and got a chance to observe you, and really excited to see you in this role. I think you're maybe not even a sneaky good leader. I think everybody will get a chance to see what an effective leader you are, and a great person within SUHBA. So
thank you.
Anyway, excited to get to showcase you to our members a little bit today. So anyway, maybe to start with. Be kind of curious. Sometimes I like to start these conversations asking people a little bit about how they got into home building, and in particular about the first home that they built, kind of how they landed in the industry. And I know you've got, like a lot of our members, this kind of runs in the family. So be kind of curious to hear that story.
Yeah. So whether it's true or not, we've always been told that my great-grandma was the first female contractor in LA County. They didn't keep track of female workers on the records back then, but that's what we've been told, and that's on my paternal grandma's side. And then on my paternal grandpa's side, they were developers and architects. And when my dad was 11, my dad's family moved here from California, and my grandpa helped develop some buildings down here. He built a few homes before he passed away, and then my dad got into it, and so I've grown up around it. I remember walking through the houses with my dad when I was little, and I used to do the final clean on some of his houses when I was in high school and in college, just during the summers. It's some extra money, and I thought it was fun because I love houses. And then I went on a mission to the Dominican Republic and came back and decided that I didn't want to be a teacher, which is what I had previously planned, and decided to go into finance. So I ended up getting a degree in finance and got a job at a title company. So I worked in title for 4 years as an escrow officer for about half of that. And graduated college, still working at the title company, and decided to get my master's. So I have a master's degree, and then I was just sitting there one day talking to my dad, and it's like, I'm not great in an office. Like, I'm not enjoying this anymore. And he was like, well, I could use a realtor. Do you want to do that? And I said, sure. So I ended up getting my real estate license, and then left the title company to go work with my dad, and worked with him for about a year. And then I realized that I loved the construction part of it. I loved being in the middle of it. So I ended up doing SWIP cleanup for a while, and got razzed a little bit by some of the subs because it's like, why are you doing this and not your brother? But like, I was so happy. It's the happiest I'd been in a long time. And cool. So we ended up, I worked more with my brother, still did the real estate, but was learning the process more. And then when my brother started his company, I ended up taking over as the foreman for my dad's company, and did that a couple years. And then I started my company, which is Sunterra Construction. So I worked doing that on the side while working with my dad. And then I had a baby.
Wow.
So I mainly build just with my company. I help do some of my dad's back end stuff now, but yeah, it's
wow. That's quite a biography. You're still so young. It's so cool.
Yeah.
There's so much in that. Yeah, I mean, for one thing, it's crazy to think. So you say your great grandma may have been the first woman builder in LA County. So that's going back, I mean, years, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, really cool. So you've had it very much in the family for generations, and then been kind of all around the business in your lifetime. Yeah, really cool combination of skills that you'd have too. The finance obviously comes in really handy, and
it does, yeah.
in this work, that's a lot of times that's a piece that some of us don't come to initially, learn the hard way, so to speak. But I would suspect even the Spanish language skills come in handy, and
it does.
And then obviously the title piece and the realtor piece. Such a really well-rounded skill set that you've acquired over a really relatively short period of time. Maybe let's kind of break some of that out into component parts. So you mentioned the not really loving the office piece of that too much, but have you found, having had some of the experience with the title work, for example, have you found that to be somewhat useful on the in construction as well? Are there two or three things that you would identify about that experience that you found useful, maybe for some of our other SUHBA members?
I think the biggest thing is just understanding the process, because a lot of people don't understand the background and what goes into the actual purchasing of a home. They sign the rep C and they're like, hey, I own the home. But there's a lot that goes into it, looking for the liens and judgments, clearing the title, and learning that process has been very beneficial to be able to look that up on certain homes. And it also helped a lot with the real estate side of things, because you're able to explain the process, what's going on in the background to someone that's coming to buy the home. And so they have a better understanding of what's going on. Right.
Yeah, probably a lot of those moments that start to feel like things are becoming, people, those kind of freak out moments, you're probably able to kind of de-escalate and calmly explain what's happening and help people navigate through some of those moments. Yeah, really interesting. And then are you still then an agent?
I am,
you keep an active license? Yeah, I suspect that's also pretty helpful. Sometimes there's kind of a uneasy relationship at times between those two sides of life, the construction and the kind of builder and the realtor side of life, but kind of walking both sides of that. Are there some insights that you feel like that you bring to the table by having that combination? I know that we have a few builders that have that combination. Jared West is another that comes to mind, but maybe there are a couple of things you could share about that experience as well.
I think the biggest one is being able to understand the market a little better, because I get a picture of the whole market, not just the construction side of it. So I end up talking to a lot of my realtor friends, just trying to get their opinion on what's going on, what they see, how their listings are doing, and equating that to the new construction industry, because it's real estate, it's all the same, but new construction and current homes are very, very different. And so the market for those is different as well, and so being able to see both sides, I think, is very beneficial. Yeah,
I agree. And I think it's really useful for builders to have that, to be really open to that feedback and that broader kind of information set that all information is kind of good as you're even thinking about how you're building, and designing your homes and all the rest of that. Sometimes we get a little defensive about that feedback, and so I think it's really healthy actually to be really open to whatever source of information you can get. So turning to some of your involvement in SUHBA, I know you've been really involved in a couple of the groups that we have, the careers in construction committee, and also the young professional committee. Maybe starting with careers in construction, maybe talk about that a little bit, and kind of what your involvement's been and where you have seen that evolve and where you think that might be going next.
Yeah. So a little backstory. When I was in, I think it was 7th grade, I ended up going to the county fairgrounds and doing what was back then their careers in construction. And so we got to drive the big machines and hammer and nails and saw everything, and it was a blast. And I remember doing that. It was pouring rain, but we still got to do a whole bunch of different things. And so when we started the Young Professionals and we were talking about the different things we wanted to do with it, one of the things that got brought up was restarting the careers in construction. And so that was one I was pushing for a little bit harder than some of the others, just because I was a participant of that when I was younger. And so I think that is beneficial to the kids. I'm not a book learner. I'm a hands-on learner. And so being able to do that with my hands, learn the process, is something that you can't learn from a book.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think it's good for the kids to see that there are careers and jobs that they can do.
Yes.
That benefit the community without having to go to college. Which is funny, I say that because I have a master's degree.
Yes.
But like, it's for some, and some it's not for others. And so it just depends on what you're doing and what you're good at. And you can be successful in whatever you do. Yeah. And this careers in construction opens the door for those kids, seeing that there are options for them in this field. And so
I love that. Yeah. And I don't know that I was aware how integral you were to initiating that, because I think it's so important to start. Because we talk about all the time how in the industry generally we have this aging workforce, and it's so important that we replenish that. And locally, we're in a little bit better shape than the industry is nationally. But you've got to kind of start that process earlier. And I think it kind of is more natural younger. I have a grandson that he's 3, and he is gaga for construction sites. He loves it. And so, there's something natural about that. And so why sort of beat that out of them? Why not encourage that and meet kids where they are?
Say my 18-month-old is the same way. We go on a job site and can't leave for an extra 10 minutes because he's got to look at all the machines and hammer in the nails. And knows the
names and loves everything about it. And so, so I love that. So, starting young when they already have that interest, and building on that with the demonstration days, and then having that dovetail right into the Career Tech High School and the programs we have at Dixie Tech, and then as we're trying to build the program out at Utah Tech, so there's construction management. So like you said, you can meet every individual with where they're at. If they want to supplement that with the more formal classroom education, great, but they don't have to opt for that. I couldn't agree more. I think it's fantastic. So the last couple of years we've had the Careers in Construction Day, and it seems like that's as a new initiative, those are always a little bit tough to get off the ground, but every year it seems to be this big success. How do you see that going forward? Do you see that kind of building on itself? What would you like to see in the upcoming year, building on the past 2 years?
I would love to see it keep growing, keep expanding. When I was volunteering at the last Careers in Construction Day, one of the teachers that I was with said that they were looking forward to it this year because last year when they came, they had some students that were struggling. And as soon as they came to Careers in Construction, realized that there is something for them, their academics like skyrocketed. They started behaving better. Like they changed immensely.
Wow.
And so they were so excited this year to be able to bring some other kids to see how they could benefit from it. And so I think I just want to see it impact the kids and help them realize that there is a place for them, even if it's not going to college, that there are things that they can do that they can enjoy. Yeah.
Wow. What a powerful comment that is. I mean, if it's even one or two kids that are affected in that way, it's so worthwhile.
It's worth it.
Yeah. Really cool. So and then, like I said, that kind of leads right into the larger kind of this curriculum component at the high school and beyond, and then obviously the house that we feature in during the parade as well, and all of those kind of compatible programs. Yeah, super cool. So maybe shifting to the young professionals, and you made kind of the from my vantage point, it seems silly to you comment, so am I aging out of the young professionals thing? But talk about that a little bit. That committee, and I thought you made some really interesting comments about where you maybe like to see that evolve and some innovation on within that group.
Yeah. So how it originally started was just a group of young professionals that wanted to get together to see what they could do, and we pushed the Careers in Construction. We were trying to figure out how we can get in front of students and kids and get them to be interested in the construction field, because there is an aging workforce, and we'd like to replenish that so that we can, people my age can keep building and have the subs to do that. And so we got Careers in Construction going and realized that now that that's working and everything's great, that we're going to do a detour. And so now we're going to use young professionals as how can we benefit the young professionals. And so we're looking to do almost like a lunch and learn, where we have someone, they'll come talk, give us some insights into the field, some things we can use to help our business grow and things like that, and then do a little networking lunch after and just see what we can do to help the current young professionals to succeed in their businesses, and then go from there. Yeah,
love it. Yeah, it's so important. Yeah, and again, I think it's so cool that you've initiated this sort of thing. You know, the being an attorney, it's kind of a similar thing. It's there's almost it's almost a hazing that happens when you're in some of these professions where you almost don't feel super welcome initially, and so it's really helpful to have other younger professionals extending their hand to other peers to welcome them into the profession, and to then kind of demonstrate to people younger than them that there is a path, and so that it kind of makes it seem very doable, as opposed to this kind of musty old thing that only old people can do or whatever. So super important component to it. So yeah, really cool, and I think that's a great evolution of it, to have that component of the not just sort of the mentoring, but the peer-to-peer kind of networking and learning of it. So so beyond that, are there any other things as you step into the role as president, and again, I think people are maybe starting to see you're a leader, and even though you're kind of superficially quiet, you're a go-getter. You're a leader.
Thank you.
Are there other areas that you have thought about that you'd like to push out on SUHBA's mission, and where we've got such a multifaceted mission. Any other things that you've been thinking about?
One of them is keep moving forward with the construction management degree at Utah Tech, because I think I'm in a unique position where I'm in construction, but I've got a degree.
Yep.
And so I can see how it can be beneficial. It's not for everybody, but those that want it and those that would benefit from it, I would love to see that program here, so that we're not sending our kids and our future workforce out of St. George to go get that degree, because there's a chance they may not come back. And so if we can get that degree going and keep those kids here, I think that would help our industry a lot.
Yeah.
And Dixie Tech has been awesome to work with, and they're willing to help do part of the Utah Tech curriculum. And my husband's a plumber, and he actually went through Dixie Tech to get his degree. And so I know how important those classes are and how much they helped him. And so having them as, the ace in the back pocket is awesome to get that degree.
Yeah.
And the other thing, especially with what happened with Ron Jensen, is we just want to focus on mental health a little bit and just get those information, the resources, tools, all of that out there, because the construction industry is stressful. There's highs, there's lows, and you can only hold so much of that in before it's too late.
Yeah.
And so being able to get those resources out there to help those in the industry, their family members, even other people that aren't part of SUHBA, I think would help our industry a ton in the future. So that's one of the things we want to start implementing this year, is some of that.
Love it. So thoughtful. Yeah, both of those. I think the first on the education piece, that's kind of the missing pillar right now. I think Dixie Tech is awesome. When we meet with them, they're just so responsive. They're like, whatever piece you, the industry, tell us is missing, we'll spin it up. Yep. And you tell us kind of how to design it, and we're there. And I think Utah Tech is very open and interested in meeting that need, but that is kind of the missing piece to it. And I'm with you. It's unfortunate that if you do want that construction management piece, that bachelor's degree piece, you've got to leave town to get it. And then we have the mental health piece. To me, it kind of fits within kind of the safety piece that we already have. We kind of think about the physical safety part of this, but there's a whole mental health side of this that kind of fits within that mission, and does really, I think, deserve some direct attention. And so I think that's super thoughtful. So and then selfishly, kind of as we wrap up on the government affairs side, I think you're also uniquely going to be helpful in some of those conversations. So I'm gonna rope you into some of those conversations. I think your voice is going to be uniquely helpful there. Not just because you're the first woman to lead SUHBA as president, but your unique perspective and experience. So again, super excited to have you in this role, Ashlee, and looking forward to spending a lot more time with you this next year.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah, and thanks again for coming in and doing this today. We'll let you go from here. And thanks to everybody who tuned in today, and hopefully you will like and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. We'll see you in the next one.